In an asymmetrical negotiation, two vastly unequal forces collide. One side holds overwhelming resources, and the other is fighting merely to survive. Operating from a severe disadvantage, whether it is an empty bank account or a lack of physical leverage, triggers a biological response. The brain locks into scarcity mode, causing restless, approval-seeking body language that signals your desperation to the room. We can see this dynamic tested at the absolute extreme. A vulnerable target, let's look at Tommy Shelby, walks directly into the territory of a deeply entrenched rival. He steps into this meeting after a brutal defeat. His gang has been beaten back, his skull is fractured, and his options have evaporated. He is standing on death ground. In this state, showing a single flicker of fear or emotional reactivity gives the opponent the exact fracture they need to exploit his weakness and kill the deal entirely. A sophisticated aggressor rarely starts with business. They begin with a targeted attack on physical insecurities, mocking the opponent's shorter height to force them into a reactive, defensive posture right out of the gate. This transitions immediately into cognitive overload. The attacker floods the target with useless, confusing information to short-circuit their logical thinking and break their focus. They weaponize their environment. By demanding an immediate opinion on mundane details, like choosing between brown or white bread, the aggressor trains the target to comply with small demands. The insult about the bread has nothing to do with the bakery. It is a diagnostic test. The aggressor is watching closely to see if the target stammers, blushes, or snaps back, hunting for a fight or flight response. By manufacturing this volatile, high-pressure environment, the aggressor extracts data on their opponent's emotional fragility before a single actual term is negotiated. The primary countermeasure to this noise is tactical minimalism. You intentionally slow down your internal clock, refusing to match the frantic speed of the attack. When hit with the cognitive overload of the bread question, the defense is a flat two-word answer. Try the brown. No elaboration, no engagement with the chaos. Frustrated by the lack of reaction, the aggressor escalates. The insults shift from the environment to direct attacks on social class and background, designed explicitly to trigger anger. This is where you create an emotional vacuum. The insults keep crashing into a wall of silence, while you pivot directly to the core business proposal. The focus cuts straight through the noise, and suddenly the person speaking least controls the room. This emotional vacuum quietly strips the attacker of their assumed power, proving the target cannot be bullied into submission. The aggressor then corners the target with a deeply shameful historical fact, bringing up a humiliating incident where the target had to be saved from a beating by the police. The standard human instinct in this scenario is to offer context, deny the severity of the event, or get defensive. The power move is to accept the premise entirely, but reframe the context. The target agrees the police intervenes, but clarifies that law enforcement didn't act out of pity. They acted because they are on his payroll. Converting a perceived moment of cowardice into concrete proof of systemic corruption neutralizes the opponent's leverage instantly. Stripped of psychological dominance, the aggressor's strategy collapses into panic. He introduces an extreme physical threat and draws a weapon. This triggers the ultimate defensive posture, the freeze response. There is no flinching. The target remains unblinking and completely motionless. Even while bleeding from previous injuries, there is absolutely zero attempt to beg for mercy. This forces a harsh realization upon the aggressor. You cannot intimidate a person who has already accepted their own destruction. By rendering the threat of death useless, the power dynamic inverts. The aggressor has nowhere left to escalate, forcing him to lower the weapon and accept the terms of the deal. Everyday environments operate on these exact mechanics. Bosses, bullies, and social media algorithms constantly generate noise to fish for your emotional reactions. True psychological armor is the internal security, and often the financial stability, that allows you to sit in absolute silence while someone else tries to provoke you. The person who dictates the outcome of a conflict rarely shouts the loudest. They own their flaws, ignore the noise, and weaponize silence to take control of the room.